Hello and welcome to episode 91 of the Fools on a Hill podcast, where we bring you the latest news and our expert opinion on the newest releases in the world of music.
Tell him I'm not recording video.
Yanni's not recording video.
Let's just keep this though, because we're in time with one. Oh no, because the video is not going to be.
Great.
No, that's fine. I can sort it out in post.
Welcome back. Oh, we've had problems before hitting record. We've had problems of not hitting record. Let's hope it's smooth from here on in. I'm Carl and I'm joined by Yanni and Liam, who make me go grey. How are we, boys?
We're fine.
Yeah.
Don't know
No
why you're
problem at
stressing,
all
mate.
from my end, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, everything's fine, mate.
Yeah,
smooth
everything's
day.
fine.
Smooth operator.
Smooth operator. How are we? Anything happened of note this week?
Not that I can think of.
Liam?
And not that I can think of.
Well, I can think of two mesmeric things that happened in my life.
Mesmeric?
Mesmeric. I have discovered two forever drinks that will be taken forward until the day I die.
Wow.
Both alcoholic. The first one is a baby Guinness. Everyone knows about baby Guinnesses.
Baby Guinness.
Just haven't had one before. I'm not a shots man. Oh my God, they are amazing. The second one, and I would like to thank my lovely friend George for this. Di Serrano and apple juice. Oh my sweet Jesus.
Sounds weird,
fucked
Liam,
up.
but it's great.
Oh my God, Liam.
Well, I guess it's going to taste a little bit like an apple pie. Drink.
Not quite.
No.
But Liam, do you have Di Serrano in your house? I know you're a...
I do.
Okay, do you have apple juice in your house?
I may have apple juice. Lydia sometimes has apple juice.
Do it.
I don't like apple juice though.
Well, grow up
What?
and do it.
You don't like apple juice?
Nah, I've had too many warm apple juices in my life and it's put me off.
Well,
Put it
stop.
in the fridge, get some ice, and put some Di Serrano in it, and you will not be sorry.
Okay, well, maybe I'll try it next time with apple juice.
I'm going to have another one tonight because...
Another one.
Another one. DJ
Another
Khaled.
one.
I can't wait for my next baby Guinness, whenever that is.
I know, same.
I love baby Guinnesses. I love
Adult Guinness.
Guinnesses as well. Any age range. I don't discriminate when it comes to like Guinnesses. Guinness sigh.
Say.
Well, if that is everything, boys, we'll wrap up the podcast there. See you next week.
Yeah,
No,
see ya.
I'm
See you
joking.
later.
We're going to take a little detour to a place we've not been for quite some time. That is, what's the story?
Glastonbury have just announced their lineup, guys. That's the story. Here is the story on what's the story. The story is Glastonbury have announced their lineup.
Smooth.
What do we think about it? Hey?
Distinctly average, I'd say.
Yeah.
Distinctly average.
Distinctly average.
Headliners we're looking at. This is from memory now.
That's our
Arctic
tagline,
Monkeys,
isn't it?
Guns N' Roses, Elton John, Lizzo. Headliners, yeah?
Well, Lizzo is technically not a headliner, I don't think. She's like a
It's
co-headliner.
a bit sexist, mate.
Well, these aren't my words. Co-headliner. She's going to be opening for Elton John.
That's not what co means.
No.
Well, that's what I've read. I've done some research this morning. You know I have, and this is the information that I have deduced.
Well,
Apparently, because the headliner slot was already promised to someone else. By someone else, I assume they mean Elton John. There's been a bit of uproar since the announcement.
Damn.
Say Yanni. Since the announcement of the lineup, and that is due to the lack of diversity in the headliner slots. Liam so aptly stated that we have Arctic Monkeys, Guns N' Roses, and Elton John.
The point was that they're all definitely all men. We know that much. Mostly, at least majority white, if not all white, headliners. Okay, it does feel as though Lizzo isn't a headliner, isn't a co-headliner, because that's made up. She's before the headliner.
Yeah. Support
and is
acts,
there
basically.
as a way to try and counterbalance that in some way, and that feels a little bit gross, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
She easily could have been a headliner. Guns N' Roses shouldn't be a headliner. What are they doing there?
Who has listened to Guns N' Roses in the last 10 years, honestly?
Out of the people we could offend on this podcast, I'm all for offending the people who are listening to Guns N' Roses still at this age.
Emily Evis has said that the headliners being male is down to a pipeline problem, quote unquote.
Pipeline. Is
Ain't
that
that true?
being that there's not enough
Pipeline
non-white
meaning
male artists? Is that what she's trying to say?
Well,
Is the issue not that they're not being exposed to get better and become more famous? Not better, sorry.
there's that, yeah. She said that a previously confirmed headliner had to pull out due to change in touring plans. That was believed to be Taylor Swift. So the natural replacement, Guns N' Roses, obviously.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it's
Of
good
course.
that they've given Arctic Monkeys a chance to headline for once.
Well,
Yeah.
this is only the third
Very
time.
underground act. It's I do see Elton John. If you're gonna have Elton John at Glastonbury, he kind of has to headline. He's one
Yeah.
of the biggest artists
Yeah.
ever. Arctic Monkeys probably also yes.
Well, I couldn't believe the other day that it's been 10 years since their last headline slot, which I know is how dates work, but it seems like
Yeah.
does not
I
seem
feel
like
like
10 years.
if you've headlined before, you would probably headline in future. You know, you wouldn't drop down to a lower stage or a lower kind of time slot.
Yeah, I
Guns
agree.
N' Roses, I don't care how they feel about it. Do you know what I mean? If they headlined in the past, don't give a shit. They
Put
don't.
them in the smallest tent
Not
possible.
bothered. Yeah, they just don't feel like a headline act. Like, who's really going to be that excited to go and see Guns N' Roses?
Yeah.
I would, to be fair.
Yeah.
There's that as well, and I also think that Slash and Axl Rose have both got allegedly questionable pasts.
Mm.
Very checked.
They've been accused of some things. One of their songs, "One in a Million," has a history of racist and homophobic lyrics. That's not on streaming platforms anymore, but it just seems against everything Glastonbury stands for, and it's just a bit odd to me.
Glastonbury stand for Dosh.
Dosh.
Maybe they do. Lana Del Rey as well is apparently headlining the other stage. You would not know that based on the promotional poster, and she is fuming. Let me tell you, fuming.
Yeah, it's not very clear. I mean,
That's how they
I
always
feel
do
like
that, don't
she
Yeah.
could have headlined main stage with all the
Yeah.
material she's got. He's pulling that face, hell, but she could.
they? She's a big enough name to headline.
Yeah, maybe so. But apparently she's threatened to pull out, which seems a bit dramatic. I don't mean to be that guy, but based
He's about to
on
be.
the statistics, I'm just being level-headed journalist here. 52% of the 54 acts are male, so it's not equal, but it's close to being equal.
And that's good enough.
Yeah,
And
that'll do. We don't need to improve that.
46% of 54 acts are non-white or feature non-white members.
What was that?
That's just,
What was that percentage, Callum? Sorry, I missed what you
46% of 54 acts.
said. Okay.
This is also only
Considering-
the first wave of acts to be announced. There are going to be more. Obviously, Glastonbury's huge. And I think if you actually look past the headliners, it's not that bad for diversity. Speaking as someone who has no right to speak on the topic.
I mean, looking through it, I did a quick mental count of row by row, and it did seem roughly split, kind of male, non-male.
Well, you don't need to do that because we've got the statistics, mate.
Yeah, I know.
It's
but even from the-
52%.
There you go.
Well, there we go. I was just telling you. Way to ruin a flow.
That's what we're from, mate.
But obviously, like you say, there's going to be more announcements, more acts announced, and they're going to go with their best foot forward. And that, unfortunately, does feed into the pipeline issue that Emily mentioned of all the biggest names are, or most of them, are male, white. And that's just kind of the way it is. So, I mean, it's hard to really say fully how diverse it is until we see the full lineup. It would be a shame, though, obviously, that the majority of that is going to be in lower stages.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm mostly talking about the kind of 46% white? Obviously-
46% non-white, all feature non-white members.
Okay, so 54% white.
Yeah.
Considering there's so much more than white. The non-white is such a bigger kind
Yeah.
of. There's a lot of different areas in non-white.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
only the less than half is crazy. But
Hasn't Elton John said farewell about 10 times? and also, I don't get the Guns N' Roses inclusion at all, to be
No.
honest.
Neither
No,
do I. That does seem. I mean, as a headliner, definitely weird. you could semi understand if they were. Oh, I mean, they're not legends, but like I think you could kind of understand if they were in the legends slot. Just it would be a shit announcement, but you could understand it. But they've not released anything of note for 25 years at least, and it's just a bit bizarre.
The legend slot, I've never really quite understood. Is that an actual kind of time slot on a certain day? Is it Sunday or something?
Sunday at 5, I think.
So do we know who that is at this point?
Cat Stevens.
Okay.
Yusuf /
Yusuf, yeah.
Cat Stevens.
I suppose that's fair enough.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, aren't we, to see how it turns out. But
what your? Oh, go on. Sorry, I thought you were.
Well, if you let me speak, I feel like the uproar is more to do with the headline side of it more than the inclusion of other people. Well, that's what I would take away from it, being the person who's not offended by anything I've just seen. But it's not my right to be offended by that. So, who cares?
Yeah, I do think most of the uproar is at Guns N' Roses, though, because I think people would be happy with Arctic Monkeys and Elton John. But
I even feel like Arctic Monkeys, well, I say, if Arctic Monkeys are going to be there, they probably will be headliners. I just don't really feel like they deserve to be.
Yeah, that's my thoughts on
and
that
Elton
also.
John, to be honest, like, you've just stopped playing music. Like, why are you still doing farewell tours? It's been so long. Like, there's so many other artists that could fit those spots that haven't been there before.
Yeah, that is a very good point. How do you feel on the lineup as a whole, though? If you were going as a punter, would you be happy with what has been announced so far?
For Glastonbury, I'm not really that fussed.
Yeah, no, me really. Obviously, I'd want to see Arctic Monkeys. The War on Drugs, I'd want to see.
Yeah, there's a few not quite like legends, but almost their names, I suppose. There aren't many kind of like middle to lower names, and maybe they'll come, but I don't know why they wouldn't be on this list if they were going to be there, sort of thing. I'm trying to desperately find this list because I haven't actually got it, but
I mean,
it's on the ones you sent before.
Yeah, so there's Blondie, who obviously would be an event to see. I don't know how good they are live these days. Fred again, I think would be good to see. Lana Del Rey, I'd like to see, but I'm not fuming that I have missed tickets.
As a person who struggles seeing colours, I hate this poster.
Well,
it makes it very difficult. I mean, this is probably what Lana Del Rey was going on about. It's very unclear about certain things that are going on.
Have you just outed Lana Del Rey as colourblind?
That's what it is. But when you said Blondie there, it took me until you'd finished talking about Blondie to find out where they were on the.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same.
Order. Yes.
It's the same with the Parklife one. That is tragic. I hate that. I mean, I've never got to Parklife anyway, but that's awful. This isn't good. There's definitely better ways to do it. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have any feelings either way about the lineup in terms of actually being a fan of music. It's just a bit meh.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it again. There's a decent variety there, and there are quite a few I'd like to see. But like I say, I feel like there's a lot that I'm not really bothered about, and it doesn't leave much room for others. It doesn't feel like if you're looking at kind of the level of popularity.
Yeah, Glastonbury's huge though, mate. There'll be loads more,
I suppose. But like, there's some here that are less kind of well known than some others that I'd want to see. So you'd assume they'd be on the list, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know how they kind of release their acts. But
well, that's been our talking point. But if you want to hear more about festivals that are coming, there will be a video coming out about the festivals in question this year and our opinions on them as we rank very efficiently, because there's quite a few to go through. So that will be linked as soon as that video's up. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on the whole Glastonbury situation down below, please. We have another section in this recording, don't we, boys?
We do.
We?
Yes. It's a section that will always be named what it is currently named, because we debated it for quite some time, so it feels strange changing it all of a sudden. That name is hot off the press. We'll see you there.
We're here in the Hot off the Press section where we review the previous week's singles and EPs. Sometimes they are from weeks ago, but they're just so damn good that we have to include them. And that is the case with our first track of the week, The National with New Order T-shirt. I personally think this is a bloody beautiful track. I've said many times I've struggled to get into The National in previous times of listening. I think the guitar's lovely, synths in the background add a lovely layer of atmosphere, and the vocals are wonderful. The drums coming in during the chorus are really impactful. I just think it's bloody nice. Bloody nice.
Yeah, I would say the guitar is also very nice, a standout part to me. And the production of the vocals was great. It sounded... There's a lot of tracks this week that I thought actually sounded very well mixed and produced and everything. However, and this might be a recurring theme, so apologies in advance, the song didn't really stick with me.
That's an interesting point, Yanni.
Mm.
I agree with everything you said. I think it all sounds very nice. The lyrics are very nice in the song. The way it kind of paints a number of tales through the idea of photographs, and it's all very pleasant. But yeah, it doesn't. I feel like it's just missing something. Just missing a kind of added element that's going to make it stand out a bit. If it came on shuffle, I wouldn't skip it. It's very nice, but I wouldn't seek it out. I don't think.
Yeah, definitely. Next up is Unknown Mortal Orchestra with the song Nadja or Narja.
Nadia.
Narja, even. There we go. There's the correction for this week's recording. Again, like all the sounds, but just can't imagine revisiting this song.
I can, Yanni. I thought it was incredibly heartfelt, and I loved the vibe it was giving off. The vocals were executed very well, and I just loved the track again. I had a nice moody groove that I was a fan of.
Yeah, I like the sounds, and I get what you're saying, Callum. I just found the whole thing boring, to be honest. Even on subsequent listens, I was like, yeah, this guitar part sounds good, and it's got a nice groove to it, but it's just a bit boring.
Next up, we've got a string of great songs. Just a heads up. Starting off with Slow Pulp and the song Cramps. Was not expecting this sound that came out when I hit play. It was really, really good. And I'm interested to see if they'll explore the more heavy sound that they've got with this and almost shoegazy style. Kind of always kind of vibes. When the like Pharmacist kind of like heavier chords being played, that kind of style. But yeah, very interested in if they'll explore this further. I hope they do.
Yep, mirrors on the wall.
Whoa.
It is a bit of a banger. The video was cool. I really liked that style, which I know we're not a video podcast, but it has to be said. Distortion was great. Tune.
Yeah, big tune, very 90s. Sounded great.
Sounded so good. Next up, Yves Tumor with the song Heaven Surrounds Us Like a Hood. I think this one was from 2 weeks ago, maybe? A week ago? Is this an
I
older
think
one?
we all listened to it as soon as it came out.
Oh, okay. Regardless, I mean, it slaps so freaking hard.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. Track of the week for me. Another smash hit from this upcoming album, which is my most anticipated of the year. Guitar is fantastic. The change up in chords from about, I think it's like 1 minute 50 onwards, and then when all the instruments come back in, is mesmeric. And I just feel like
Again.
I just feel like it's just pretty iconic, and I think one day Yves Tumor will blow up. Not literally.
I hope not.
What an artist.
You're quite upsetting. It does feel iconic, Cal, you're right. It does feel like a monumental piece of music.
Mesmeric, some would say.
Wowie.
Some fools might say it. Yeah.
Wowie, yeah.
It's great. It's so it's so mesmeric. That's what is the word that came to mind.
You take the piss, but I'm not wrong.
No, it really is. It's so like all encompassing, like a hood. And it works so well, and everything. The bass sounds so great. The vocals sound brilliant. It's I think I'm going to pre-order this album after we finish this. Actually, it made me realise that I need to order that.
It's just
Order that
everything
shit.
so far just seems like it's come in with a level of authority.
Ooh.
Yeah,
You know?
taking you by the balls.
Yes, please take my balls. Next up, we've got Boy Genius with the song ... Not Strong Enough. It's another good song. To be honest, I'm very excited for this album.
As am I. Yeah, I like how everyone's given their time to shine on this track. Each variant of the chorus is great, and yeah, it's just shaping up to be a bloody good time.
Yeah, I think it sounds great. I don't think this one really grabbed me that much, to be honest. I feel like I need to stop listening to the singles. I'm going to enjoy the album. It's one of those. I know I'm going to enjoy the album. The more I keep hearing singles, I'm getting a little bit tired of it.
Okay. And that is where the end of good songs stops for now. Next up, we've got Sparks. Yeah, keep on messing with your mic. That's nice. With the song, the girl is crying in her latte. Latte. It was as weird as I was expecting it to be. So it wasn't a shock when I heard it. But it wasn't something I enjoyed. And I feel like to really appreciate it, you also have to be watching the music video.
Yes, I listened to this. Every time I listened to it, I was watching the music video. And I do quite enjoy it. I just think it's just a bit of fun. It's not, I don't know how often I'm going to revisit it. But
If it was 1.5 minutes, sound.
maybe. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Thank you.
I have wanted to go and listen to a lot of Sparks for a while, but I just never have. So maybe now's the time.
Now's the time. I just didn't enjoy it. I just don't enjoy it at all. It just isn't fun for me. I've also thought about listening to Sparks because they're featured a few times on Gilmore Girls. In the flesh,
Wow.
indeed. And yeah, this put me off that. So
I find it interesting. I don't want to condescend them because obviously they're very good musicians, but the fact that they're like in their mid to late 70s still making music like this is pretty cool to me.
It feels like it's from when they were. It feels dated, I think.
Yeah.
The best way I'm trying
They
to
did
say
a
that.
collaboration with Franz Ferdinand as well, and that's something I've always been meaning to listen to. They did a whole
Sounds
album,
fun.
but I don't know if it was any good or not.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll revisit that point at a later date when you've given it a listen.
See if there's an anniversary coming up, shall I?
No, just you listen to it. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Next up, the nude party. Don't know worded that right. Pronounced it right. It's 2 songs: Cherry Red Boots and Somebody Trying to Hoodoo Me. Cherry Red Boots start off with, actually both the songs started off interesting, but very quickly lost interest. Those are my feelings on both the songs.
I like them both. I thought the instrumentation was good. The vocals took a little bit for me to get into, but I ended up liking them eventually. They're just kind of the vibe that I'm enjoying right now, which is why I liked these songs. Maybe if I, when I go through phases of music, maybe I won't really enjoy them that much. But right now, it hit me at the right time.
Well, I just the other day re-listened to. That doesn't seem like the right set of words. Listened again to their latest album, and you should listen to it. Midnight Manor. I think you'd enjoy it, Cal, if you enjoyed this. Very similar vibes. Yeah, I enjoyed these 2 songs. I prefer the second one to the first one. I get what you're saying, Jan, about them just going a bit too long or a bit not really getting to anywhere, especially the first one. But good vibes.
Next up, it is the best song of the week. It's Big Wet with Number One Pussy. And to be honest, I've said it's the best song of the week. It might even be the best song of the year so far. It's a rip snorter. It's a stonker.
It is a hard stonk.
Yeah.
I feel like such a bad bitch when I listen to it.
Yeah. I feel like I want a pussy when I listen to this.
I've got one slight nitpick, and it's that I wanted more of the chorus at the end. I wish it came back in, and it didn't. So I wouldn't really say that's a critique. I just want more of it. Very good. Yeah, maybe.
It's it's an incredible song. The line "Can't ignore my pussy when I'm sitting on your face" is some of the best lyricism of this
It
generation,
is.
I'd say. Stinks.
Stinks. The number
The
one
song
pussy stinks. Moving on to a very, very different song. Is Arlo Parks with Impurities. Whenever we've covered Arlo Parks, I don't think anything's really grabbed me.
No.
And that's still the case. However, this is one of these other songs that I thought the mix on this was great. Everything sounded very, very nice. And I have put down on here, maybe if I listen to this at a different time, I'll enjoy it more. But yeah, upon listening to it when I did, nothing really grabbed me.
Well, I really enjoy the overall sound, as you said there, Yanni. I thought the verses were absolutely fantastic. And then it goes downhill because the pre-chorus and the chorus are just too repetitive. And that makes up 60-70% of the song, which I think is a shame. It all sounds great. Arlo's vocals are fantastic. But I don't know, it was just holding me back how repetitive it was, which is a shame.
No, it's Arlo Parks, right?
It is, yeah.
Covered shame last week. I think it's I really enjoy it, and I, again, as you mentioned there, Yanni, I don't remember really anything standing out from previous stuff from Arlo Parks, but this is very nice. I really like what she's going for here. However, it's just missing that standout thing that's going to make me want to re-listen to it. I don't really see any reason to go back to it, kind of thing. Again, if it came on, I'd enjoy it. I enjoy the vibes. Hopefully, a full project of something similar will kind of put it into place a bit better.
They're one of those artists that I feel like I'm pressured to like because they seem to be, whenever there's a Brits Awards show, they're always mentioned.
Well, they won the bloody Mercury Prize 2 years ago.
A Mercury Prize there. So I feel like there's some sort of pressure externally for me to like them. But yeah, nothing.
You do, you, boo.
Is. Thanks. Next up, James Ellis Ford. More
From
commonly referred to as
Simeon
James
Mobile
Ford.
Disco. Fame.
Fame, yes. With the song I Never Wanted Anything. And I never wanted this, really. Yeah, it sounds all right, but didn't need this in my life.
I like some of the things the music's doing. It feels like a weird time in their career to do this. After having so much success as a producer and part of Simeon Mobile Disco and all.
How dare they branch out?
No, but it just feels weird because I've never known him as a vocalist, and I mean, I don't think we're going to know him as a vocalist going forward. I liked some of it, but it was just hampered by how slow it was. I could feel myself guessing what the lyrics were because of how basic they were and how slow they were sung, and it was just a bit underwhelming, a bit like a wet blanket. Hopefully the album is more exciting.
Yeah, I agree with you. Mirrors with you, Yanni. There. I liked kind of the sounds and what was going on, but it just as a song didn't mean anything to me at all, really.
Vienna.
Next up, we got Fred again, The Streets, and Dermot Kennedy, all on a collab with the song Mike, in brackets, Desert Island Duvet. I think this was a very good collaboration.
As do I.
As do I.
And that's enough. Moving on. No, was there any other comments you've got on that? I mean, I feel like the blend of The Streets and Fred again, they just worked very well. It sort of lifted each other.
I agree. I've never listened to Dermot Kennedy either, and I've really enjoyed his vocals on this. I thought it was the best Mike Skinner sounded in a while. It's just, yeah, I loved it, and I was not remotely expecting to love it when I saw it on Notion.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think that it all worked really well together, and some great Mike. There's one lyric I'm trying to pull it up about. Is it the Arabian aromas, or maybe it's a takeaway? Because obviously he's like talking about like an Arabian Nights kind of story. That was quite good. And yeah, I think it fit together really well. I did, however, though, and this is just a me problem, but I found myself just wanting like a classic street beat on it. I felt like because it's good Mike Skinner and he's back kind of thing. Felt almost a shame that it isn't Streets. Do you know what I mean? But Fred again did a great job. Let's not take anything away from that. And,
Don't take it
so
away from him.
Don't.
Next up, Cowboy, with the song Plastic. Finally, they've released something that I find quite interesting. The guitar parts were really good in the way that it just seemed like it was never going to end. Even though some of it may have been repeated, it never felt like that. Every time it just carried on. And I was like, "Well, this new parts keep on being sort of played here," and it just sounded really good. But yeah, this is the first time I've enjoyed anything by them.
Yeah, I've had a bit of a whirlwind with this track this week. It all seemed to happen in the last 2 hours as well. I listened to it earlier, well, when it was first put on Notion, didn't get on board with it. Listened to it again this morning, did not like it. Then I thought, do you know what? I'm just gonna keep coming back to it throughout the morning, and eventually it clicked, and I now love this track, which I'm really surprised about. Very fickle. I just need to put the effort in, basically. I think the vocals are pretty infectious, and I love them despite it being quite repetitive. But yeah, it goes hard, I've deduced. So big up Cowboy, apparently.
Cowboy. I don't really have much to say on this one. I think, though, I wasn't quite as against the previous tracks we've listened to. So, if anything, I think I preferred them to this, but I
You're
still
wrong.
enjoyed it. Well, I'll happily be wrong. But I still enjoyed it. I thought the guitar was really good in it.
Nice. Next up, Sleaford Mods with the song So Trendy feat. Perry Farrell? Not Pharrell. That's a different person. When will we stop putting these guys on our to listen to?
Well, the album's out next week, so
I'm ill.
Spotlight.
Yeah, it's a spotlight, and then we'll have at least a year and a bit break from them. I quite like the verse. Sleaford Mods is just doing Sleaford Mods. The Perry Farrell bit took a bit of getting used to. I quite like the verse part that he did, but the backing vocals on the chorus were not fun. It was decent, but nothing special.
I think it was the. Oh no, I forgot about that Florence one. I was going to say this is the best Sleaford Mods one from the new album so far, but no, that Florence one was probably better. But only really because of her, if I'm being honest. I think the Sleaford Mods part, this might be the best track so far. But yeah, I didn't enjoy Perry's voice at all. I thought it sounded awful. Not at all like how I think he sounds very different on Jane's Addiction songs because of the music, and like being a bit more exposed like this didn't work very well for me personally.
Okay, next up, HMLTD are back. The song is The End Is Now. This one really surprised me, to be honest. After the first track, this really took me by surprise. I like the way the sample was used in this. And even though it's probably not, I was surprised by how accessible this was.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed the ending as well, when it sort of slowed down and became a bit more. Yeah, so I quite like this.
I'm full mirrors. I might as well jump in here. I think you just said exactly the things I wanted to say. I've enjoyed this as well. Bless you.
Bless you. I thought this was pretty naff.
Oh, Callum.
I just didn't get it. I just didn't enjoy it. Accessible, yes, but there was no substance for me.
Excuse me. I did think one thing though. I found the piano sound slightly grating, bit too loud or something.
He's nitpicking now.
I know that was something that stood out to me. That was not nitpicking in any way. That's the only downside I can think of it.
And finally, Water From Your Eyes with the song Barley. This
Tears.
song. What?
They're called Tears.
Yes.
Also known as.
Yeah, also known as Tears. This song, thank you so
You're
much for that, was I'm so thrown. It was not something I enjoyed.
I enjoyed it. I don't know what I enjoyed about it, but I thought it was pretty infectious, and I was bopping my little booty.
Well,
I very much enjoyed it too. I'm looking forward to hearing more from this. I liked all the noises going on. I liked the chaos, but it was all very kind of like chaotic but easy to listen to at the same time for my little ears.
I agree.
And yeah, I liked what they were going for. I liked it.
I agree. And that brings an end to the hot off the press section. But before we leave, I'm just going to give a quick little overview of the slow tie record, Ugly,
Oh,
because
please.
we didn't really want to do it as a spotlight. And then I listened to it this morning and enjoyed quite a fair bit of it. Particular standout tracks are Yum, which is a fucking incredible opener. It's one of the most anxiety-inducing songs I've heard in a long time.
That's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, it works really well. Selfish is still a banger. Never Again's a great track. Happy and Ugly and Tourniquet were my standouts. If anybody cares, I wish I gave it more of a listen throughout the week because I will be returning to it in the forthcoming days, months, years. Very good stuff.
Can I just ask, was this after you saw how highly Fantana rated this?
No, but I saw I haven't watched the
I did see
review.
that this morning.
I haven't saw the review. But I saw he uploaded and saw it was in yellow flannel. So I assumed it'd be good, and then I was like, "Oh, I'll listen to it before we record, so you could at least touch on it." I don't know, what did he rate it? Do you know?
8.
8.
Yeah. I mean, based on one listen,
You'll allow
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Based on one
that.
listen, it's probably around that, yeah. But
Okay.
but I wouldn't want to put myself out there and say.
Good to have a bit of balance on this podcast of rational, intelligent people and Callum.
Yeah, that's funny.
I hope everyone's enjoyed this podcast, don't you?
I hope they have, because I have.
If you have, please show it by leaving comments, liking, subscribing, dinging all those kind of bells that like to be dung.
Ding the dongs.
And join us next week for another pod. And just, if you're on the YouTube channel, then there's so many videos.
They're all linked.
They're
Linked more
everywhere.
like super quick.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.